Hello everyone. Andrew Dorn here with kind of a long video. So to make this entry really short, because it's Sunday, I'm not supposed to work on Sunday. That's my personal thing, where I'm just like, no work on Sundays. It's a day to chill. But I wanted to start this because it's the official first day of the Mini-Zine Jam 2020. 94 people have entered. I think I just... Nah, we're good. Okay. 94 people have entered. I'm one of them. And the idea is to make a mini-zine or mini-zine or whatever. That's a game. So the minimum requirement, or like the smallest it can be, is like fit in your pocket and still be, or fit in your wallet and still be legible. With the biggest, excuse me, my lord. With the biggest being like fit in a pocket, so like a shirt pocket, a pants pocket, or a suit jacket pocket, or a suit or a jacket pocket in general. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it this size, what I used for gaming and creating. That's a proof of concept copy. And I might trim it down a little bit to kind of make it more compact. I haven't decided yet. But I will say that I'm really excited to work on this. I've just been waiting for a game jam that I've been like really wanting to join, and this is definitely one of those that I think will be really interesting. I will show that before, like the day before Halloween, I actually started to pen down some ideas and just some like general restriction stuff. So I might do, honestly, like some sort of space sim kind of game. I definitely want to do some pixel art for some of the graphical art, and then also maybe some low poly spaceship stuff. I haven't quite pinned that idea down. But I do have some ideas bouncing around in my head, and I think by the end of the week I should have a very solid idea as to what I want to do, and then start writing up rules and design philosophy and all that stuff. So I will see you guys in the next little clip. Alright, so the last clip was recorded a very long time ago. So long ago that I don't remember, so I'm going to put the date. Okay, so it is currently December 13th, 2020 at 11:45 a.m. It's a Sunday. And I was starting to freak out because November was very intense for me, and I didn't have a lot of time to work on my game jam entry. I have a lot of stuff on paper, but I don't know when I would be able to put that into digital form and then get that submitted all before the deadline. So I started freaking out. But I have a new idea. I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to work, but I'm going to try, and that's part of the battle. One of the things that I am looking to do is I've recently been inspired by a lot of indie devs doing their own sort of take on the creature collecting genre. Most notable was this 1-bit, well, sort of 1-bit game. There was some color in there too, so like maybe I guess technically like 2-bit, 3-bit. I'm not entirely sure, but the bulk of the game is black and white. And honestly, it's pretty cool. It's a browser game. So anyways, I was thinking about an old creature collecting game that I had an idea for back in a previous game jam that I did, I think, earlier this year. And I was going to do a creature collecting game, but then I started freaking out because I only had a week to do it. Well, now I have more than a week. I have 17 days until the deadline. So the idea, the hope, is I can work with my dad to make anywhere from 15 to 30 creatures using a very unique typing. It's all going to be beverage themed, more or less. Right now I'm just focused on like having it be a multiplayer version. So the idea of like you and your friend can like print these out and you have it in your pockets and then you can battle or something. I'm gonna stick to the idea of having it be word brain hard using only a 6-sided die, a d6. The thing that plagues my dice box, because apparently I have a problem and love collecting things of d6s, and in additional to like regular sets. But I might keep it down to 1 or 2 6-sided die, or 6-sided dice or whatever. Words are hard. And I have some general ideas, so I'm going to write some rules, type up some stats. Oh, sorry. And start drafting up some UI elements. And then hopefully, come the deadline, I will have something that's presentable. I was thinking about putting this up for sale, and I think what I might do, probably for a digital only version, like no more than like $5, and then after the game jam, I'll look at how the game sits, and if I want to add any more sort of creatures to the game, in addition to doing a single player after the game is all like ready for the jam. But that's my big entry that I haven't. The space between the last clip and this clip is way too large. But that's the state of the game right now. It's a completely different game. Same general core principle of it being in a Mini-Zine, what have you. But Jesus Christ, it's been one train wreck of a game. So another quick little entry into this dev journal, which is all going to be released as one video. I've been working a little more on this new idea of it being like a creature collector. And I was trying to figure out what to do about the location, because I do want there to be some single player stuff, just so that way, even though really it's meant for you to like get some creatures and go and have a fun old time, you should also, you shouldn't just have like a range of creatures with stats to choose from. You should be able to not only like get your starter creature, but then catch some others and level up, so that way when you do multiplayer, you can it'll be kind of fun and be like you and your friend have raised up your creatures for this fun little fight. So I was trying to figure out what to do about the areas, and I had some tentative ideas of like maybe like 6 different areas, maybe less, maybe more. All of which, all of the graphical stuff is going to be made in A-Sprite. I'm going to do pixel art for just about all of it. I might go with the classic Game Boy look. But anyways, this is like the main thing I wanted to show is this. This is the Wüstenei region. Wüstenei being German for barren land. So I had this idea. What I did to form this is I took some dice and I just kind of rolled them, and if they if things were a little too far apart, I just kind of like bunched them together, and through doing that a few times I came up with a general shape where this middle part was in here, but there was like a lagoon. So from there I kind of came up with this idea where you have this island that used to be all intact, but now it has a crater here, and it has rivers that cut it into 3, and then you have a bunch of these little islands that kind of go around the region as a whole. I'm thinking you start down here, you go through the mountain pass, and you go through all that. And that is like one of the things. Another thing, I'm using the typing from an old idea from the Refreshing Game Jam, which I have a video about. But we have stuff like tea, water, carbonated alcohol, coffee, juice, and dairy. Those are like the main types. And I was trying to think of, okay, but what about adding some new types? Like maybe do we want to put food in, or, like maybe expand expand, like take one of the types and separate it, or throw in something that kind of represents, sort of the imitation dairy. And I was going back and forth, and I realized that the region I've created, Vustanai, is sort of it is kind of like a barren land. There are some towns left, but most of the region is a wasteland because of some calamity that I still haven't quite figured out. Could have been a war, could have been a natural disaster, could have been something, I don't know. And I got this idea from familiars.io, which I will make a note to link down in the description. It's a fun little indie creature collecting game. I honestly I love it. It's got a wonderful aesthetic. I do have my gripes with it, but also is like it was just released the other day, so the dev has plans to add more features and flesh out the world a little bit, add some more creatures, so all that. But one of the things I thought really interesting about the world in familiars.io was that there are ruins. Like, not everywhere, but in a good number of places. Like, there's an abandoned mine, there are some homes that are just shattered, and that combined with some of my favorite aesthetics in the Pokemon franchise are like when there's like, like, oh, what's a good example? Like the abandoned mansion in Pokemon Platinum, or the ruined Pokemon Tower Shrine thing, also in that generation. The ruins of the village in Garbage Truck. The ruins of the village in on one of the islands in Sun and Moon. I can't quite remember, but you know what I'm talking about. There's just something about ruins that I find aesthetically pleasing. I have very interesting taste, but that's kind of the direction that I'm going. Where you have these 5 towns where there are people in them and you can like battle them, but also along the way you'll have different regions. Like you've got a couple of like grass routes, or you've got like a kind of like a mossy bridge or what have you, and then also you can go into these ruined areas. These aren't going to be like 100% fleshed out with NPCs to talk through. It's just like in the places where there are no NPCs, you just catch wild creatures, and in the ones that do have them, in the towns that do have these NPCs, they'll basically be there to battle, and that's about it. Sometime after the game jam has been released, I might release an expanded version that has more creatures and maybe some quests to do, and more multiplayer features, but I'm not 100% sure. The big goal is to eventually take it from tabletop form to video game form, and then those can like coexist together, where I do everything in the tabletop version first, and then take that idea and convert it into a video game, and then it's like new version. But that is currently the idea for now. I'm just trying to figure out what to do. I did come up with a new type called Contaminated. I feel like the type chart right now feels a little on the small side. So I got the idea Contaminated from the theme of the land, but also a mix between my favorite aspects of Poison Dragon and Ghost type Pokemon. Specifically, in the OG Pokemon games, like a contaminated creature, has immunity to certain types, like how Ghost types do. It's rare, like Dragon types, and its whole thing is that it'll be about hindering your enemy, like poison types, stuff like the equivalent of like poison or poison powder or toxic or sludge, that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I'm going for. So I need to actually the type chart itself is on my MacBook, so I have to go boot that up and plug that in there and try to figure out the type charting. But I think that's where it is now. I have all the mechanics laid out. I just need to design the graphical elements, and I need to work with my dad to create the creatures, and then it's all about assembly. So I think the next time I do one of these updates will be on the 30th, when the jam is complete. Because even though the game will hopefully be released before the 30th is like when the game jam itself is complete. So yeah, this video is, cut up in multiple clips. It's very rambly, and I apologize, sort of, but that's just the nature of this 2-month-long game jam. So yeah. Alright, it is December 21st, like 9 days before the deadline. My dad is currently working on getting his illustrations outlined on tracing paper and then scanned and then sent over to me. Meanwhile, I made a couple more maps, so you can see we've got Skystep was there earlier. What did I make today? Oh, pathway number 2, another tile set, a couple of arrows, that project file's in the wrong folder, but then also the city of Roost and Genestadt ruins. Genestadt being there we go. Genestadt being the old capital of Vustenai. So, Genestadt was completely destroyed during the calamity, but they made a new one shortly after while they still had building supplies. I haven't gotten to that yet. I also made, I don't think I ever showed the Trello page, so I need to make a new Genestadt, Pathway 3, and Krankstadt. And then also, I'm also working on the bios, which I've actually taken a step away from making the maps to work on this for a while. So I have some general ideas. I sketched them out over here. In fact, I'm kind of following sort of similar to this design, but we don't have like attack, defense, and special and all that. We just have HP and speed, and oh god. This is all these clips are going to be strung together. Very limited editing, so you get the full feel of the chaos. So just HP, speed, and the 2 types, and I'm also working on making an effectiveness chart that gives you kind of like a rough idea as to how good or bad certain types are versus other types. I could leave it up to experimentation or just like have it be a separate thing, but honestly there's so much empty space that I felt like this could be like snugged in like right at like the bottom or whatever. So I'm currently working on that. I'm using the old type chart that I had made many moons ago that I'm actually basing this whole project off of. I have it as like a reference image, and now that I've got the reference image there, I think I can just hide that, and then I can work slowly on getting things realigned, and then I'll import that into the bio, and it's just a mess. But that's basically what today's been. I worked on stuff a little bit yesterday, but it's Sunday, so I was kind of not wanting to work. So hopefully today I can get as much done as possible, and then I can get into the writing of everything. And oh my god, really cutting it close with this one, but that's what we do around here. It's done. It is done. 3 days, 60 minutes before the deadline. I think... what time was that? 3:51 was when I had sent the link to a few Discord servers I'm in, but it's done. That was stressful, to say the least. I did learn some things. I learned what kind of goes into making a creature collecting game. Definitely how, to keep things balanced. And personally, I just kind of learned how to make tile-based pixel art maps in Sprite using my own weird methods. But it's done. There'll be a link down below in the description to my itch.io page. Currently, I'm marked as version 0.50 Game Jam version, and that's just because in the future I would like to maybe go back and sit down with some friends and be like, okay, so let's figure out where these are, like, in terms of like level 1 stats, and then how would they grow, how do these moves work. Some of these types, they don't have any sort of moves at level 1 that do any damage, but yeah, so that's something for like the future to work on. I don't think I'm going to touch this project for a while. Probably a good couple of months, and I'll come back at it with fresh eyes. But this, I'm really glad that I did this this game jam. Even though it was a very interesting sort of like idea, like it being like, hey, those things you always hear about, those mini zines, those mini-zines, mini magazines or whatever. What if you made a game like in that style? And it was definitely a challenge. I maybe in the future I'll do a video essay on like my experiences with game jams and what they've taught me and what I've learned as like an up and coming indie developer. I do think that my submission will probably get lost in the sea because there's 72 entries for like across 156 people that have joined. And with the fact that there's like 3 days left in the jam, I don't really know if the rest of the people will join, or if they'll have to go to one of those other jams where it's like, hey, finish what you started, kind of game jams, of which there's a surprising amount of on itch.io. But yeah, there are a few people that submitted like multiple different entries all under like their same name. So mine might get lost in the noise, but hey, at least it's done. And it's called Beveragemon, or Refreshmon, a beverage-themed creature collector. You can get it now on itch.io for the low price of $5. Because it's only version 0.5. But I am really proud how it came out. I would, like, my dad helped me with the creature designs. He tackled those while I tackled everything else. And I think just him, hold on. Okay, yeah. I lost my train of thought. Him taking care of, like, the creature designs while I worked on everything else was a huge help. And then also, like, sharing ideas with friends and getting feedback. Obviously, like, still horribly imbalanced. But I think that's kind of the fun of, cobbling something together in a month for a jam that was 2 months long. Because I spent the whole first month working on an idea that was a little too ambitious. I'll definitely say that. Maybe in the future I'll do something with that idea. Maybe I'll turn it into a video game, or maybe I'll turn it into a board game. Who knows? I don't. But that is going to be it for this probably stupid long, like, dev entry thing. I'm not trimming it down. You're getting it all unfiltered, all of these clips. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you check out the game, link in the description box thing. And I'm tired.